Okay, guys, it's time to get our eclipse on. Are you ready? Okay, let's do this. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. That's right, today is the eclipse. I am in the partial path of the eclipse. It's like 98.5 or something like that. I thought about like driving a few hours to the full totality. I was going to drive into Austin, which is a couple of hours away. But then I realized it was only the full totality for like a minute and a half in Austin. To get to the full enchilada, like 4.5 minutes, I would have to drive like 3.5 hours away or something like that. And that's a long round trip. I decided, and that's for like 4 minutes. I'm not that committed, but I salute those of you who are. But let's talk about what this moon is. What is the solar eclipse all about? You know, there's a possibly religious or a spiritual significance to it. There's possible alien significance to the moon. So what are some of the anomalous features of the moon? What are various people saying about this? The moon, as I understand it, is the only planetary satellite in our solar system that is tidally locked and that produces eclipses. Apparently, this is very unlikely to happen naturally. Many people think the moon was placed in its position by the beings. And as we know, or as I think I know, many of the beings are other dimensional, higher dimensional even. You could even attach spiritual significance to them. So could spiritual or higher dimensional beings have placed the moon where it is, in part to create eclipses? If that's true, then there could be a legit spiritual significance to it. Okay, but what are others saying? What does Bill Nelson say about it?
Eclipses have a special power. They move people to feel a kind of reverence for the beauty of our universe. Their power is not only to unify us on Earth, but to further science and discovery. Eclipses have a special power.
Okay, all right. Yeah, all right. But what else do we know from NASA and the moon, right? Well, there's various whistleblowers that have come out talking about what NASA is concealing from us. Among them is Carl Wolf, a very, very well-known individual, passed away a few years ago, about 5 years ago. Some believe in mysterious circumstances while he was bicycle riding. I don't know about that, but it is interesting how many people in the field die suspiciously, and he's not the first person that was killed in a vehicular accident. John Mack, for example, there are four John Macks killed on that same day, in the same area, all by vehicular accidents. So suspicious. Okay, moving on. The lay of the lunar land that Carl Wolf allegedly was privy to. And he knew this from working with NASA and things that he saw when he was working with NASA. He saw pictures of tall, thin structures that resembled buildings. Very large, spherical, and domed buildings on the moon. Some structures reminded him of cooling towers. Some structures reminded him of a Quonset hut. Structures appeared to be fabricated stone in texture, but with a reflective surface. Structures were clustered together over a fairly large landscape. Yeah, and Ingo Swann, a famous remote viewer, Ingo Swann, also saw structures, presumably alien structures, on the far side of the moon. And he's not the only one. There's a range of various pieces of evidence to, put alien structures on the moon and also Mars. And there's also others, for example, Elizabeth April. Yeah, here's Elizabeth April, and she has out-of-body experiences and all sorts of mystical and alien experiences, presumably. I've never known quite what to think about Elizabeth April, but there are people that have said that some of her experiences can be corroborated. I don't know, but she does claim to have been to the moon in an out-of-body experience where she went into the interior of the moon, into a hollow space in the moon, where the Galactic Federation had a meeting, and she was an observer and witness to this event. You know, who knows? Who knows, guys? But the moon does seem to have some hollow parts to it. The moon rang like a bell. That's right, the moon boom. On November 20th, 1969, Apollo 12 deliberately crashed the ascent stage of its lunar module onto the moon's surface. NASA reported that the moon rang like a bell for almost an hour, leading to arguments that it must be hollow like a bell. So did Elizabeth April meet or observe the meeting of the Galactic Federation in one of these hollow spaces within the moon? Could that be connected to these alien structures that people like Carl Wolf and Ingo Swann have seen on the moon? I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. Here's the flat Earth eclipse. Oh, and Timothy Alberino has this to say. He says, there is a lot of hysteria and fake news circulating about the solar eclipse. No, CERN is not being turned on tomorrow during the eclipse. The Large Hadron Collider was restarted on the 8th of March. CERN had planned to slightly increase the voltage on the 8th of April, but now it appears that the LHC won't even be running during the eclipse due to the testing related to cryogenics. No, NASA is not firing rockets at the sun, moon, or dome during the eclipse. The rockets will be fired into the moon's shadow to gather upper atmospheric data. So there you go, Timothy Alberino putting some of the conspiracy theories about the eclipse to bed. Okay, but what about the spiritual significance of the moon in the eclipse? Because that's the important part to me, right? You know, does it have a practical value? Does it actually do anything? You know, I plan to be meditating during the time of the eclipse. So I'm going to give it a shot, guys. I'm going to give it a shot. But, you know, it gets dark every day. So, you know, I'm not somebody that's like super excited about the eclipse. But if the moon was placed where it is by higher dimensionals, you know, in part to create an eclipse, could it have a spiritual significance? Maybe it does. Maybe it does. I don't know. So what do various people say about it? All right. So I Googled the spiritual significance of the solar eclipse. Beyond its astronomical wonder, the total solar eclipse holds spiritual significance for many. According to Architectural Digest, it symbolizes a time of darkness and spiritual renewal, offering an opportunity for introspection and the shedding of old energies. Okay, sounds pretty cool. What does Core have to say about it? The spiritual meaning of a solar eclipse varies across different cultures and belief systems. In some cultures, such as the Mayans and the Egyptians, solar eclipses were seen as powerful omens that signaled a time of great change and transformation. In Hindu mythology, eclipses were believed to be caused by the demon Rahu trying to swallow the sun or the moon. It was believed that during an eclipse, the natural order of the universe was disrupted, and that it was important to perform rituals and prayers to ward off evil and ensure the continuation of life. In many modern spiritual traditions, solar eclipses are seen as opportunities for introspection, reflection, and transformation. They are often associated with themes of endings, beginnings, and rebirth. Some people believe that solar eclipses can bring about spiritual awakening and a heightened sense of awareness. In terms of luck, there is no consensus on whether seeing a solar eclipse without protective eyewear is considered good or bad luck. Yeah, wear protective eyewear, guys. Wear some sunglasses. Wear some special eclipse glasses. However, it is important to note that looking directly at the sun during an eclipse can cause permanent eye damage. So it is always recommended to use proper eye protection when viewing an eclipse. Okay. And here is from CP24. For some who are spiritually inclined, the eclipse has added significance. When the Earth, Moon, and Sun align on Monday, Kendra Peep Green plans to be in a secluded spot in nature. Rather than taking the astronomical event in with the crowds, she and two others will go somewhere out of the way to make eclipse water, an ingredient self-proclaimed witches can use to give their spells some extra oomph. For some who practice alternative forms of spirituality, including those who identify as witches, a total solar eclipse like the one that will pass over parts of southeastern Canada today is more than just an interesting phenomenon. It can be a sacred experience rich with meaning. So there you go, guys. There's some various potential spiritual applications, for the solar eclipse. Are you practicing any of these? Are you going to make eclipse water? Are you going to meditate? Are you going to have some hot dogs and hamburgers? Or are you just totally not interested in the whole thing? What is your practice for, celebrating or not celebrating the solar eclipse? I plan to meditate and give it a shot. I haven't been meditating enough lately, like not much at all lately at all. And so I want to get back into that. And I think this is a good opportunity to do that. So that's what I plan to do. And, maybe I can, try to, reach out to the beings that put the moon there, if that's what happened, who knows? Who knows, guys? But let me know what you guys are planning to do. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the like button and the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, links below. Love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in an even bigger way, consider grabbing some merch in the merch store or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are indeed rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Also, channel members frequently get to see videos hours ahead of everybody else. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.